Welcome to Verbatoria. My name is Peter Habib, and I'm the Managing Director of Verbatoria. We're a globally assessment provider that make a provider with the neurotechnology. Well, after the huge success all over the world in Europe, Asia, and Middle East, finally we are in Dubai. We are here to make families' lives better. We are here to know exactly what the intelligence is of each kid and make a bright future for each kid that will be in this country. So we are here, we can help you in anything, and I am pleased to be part of this community. Thank you. Yes, we change lives. Do you know that 85% of parents don't know exactly their kids' intelligence potential? That's why we are here. We are using the neurotechnology to measure the brain waves and get with an integrated report and see exactly and discover exactly what's the kid's potential of each of the intelligences. And verbal intelligence, math and logic, creativity, kinesthetic, and music intelligence. This is a very important tool to identify how will be the future of your kids. So we have an example of the little Tanya that was 5 years old. She was really good at math and logic and creativity, but her parents were insisting to get her to a hobby that she didn't like. For example, she was very into chess and piano, but her father was insistent to get her to a ballet. After the report, simply, he saw her potential, he saw how she will be good at, and right now, she's happy in her school and happy in her hobbies, with playing piano or even playing chess. So this is an example of really how we can change lives. And now, let's go to the next step. Let's tell you exactly how you can use our product, how you can use Verbatoria to make the family better.
Hello everyone, I'm very excited to welcome you to our booth and our session today. My name is Julia, I'm a General Manager of Verbatoria Middle East, and our primary focus today will be the subject of how we approach the development of our children and how we influence it in a positive and non-invasive way. Nowadays, we're all going through the kind of reality that none of us have ever been exposed to before. And we wish we could guide our children in terms of the best approach to it, but unfortunately, we're learning it along with them. Therefore, for them, it's the most confusing as all the roles are mixed up nowadays. The school is now home, parents are teachers, and a bedroom is a classroom. So school was never the most easiest experience for our children, but today we have to all agree that it's as confusing as ever. That's why we as Verbatoria have a goal of adding some clarity, adding some normalcy to this process, making it a little bit easier on our children because they're going through so much. So the device that we're using and the program that we're using creates this report that's practically a cheat sheet for parents to their child's brain, makes it easier to understand their tendencies, what they want and what they're good at, and what they can excel at specifically. In our report, we cover basically topics like thinking type, their mindfulness level, their risk propensity, their stress resistance level, which is very crucial in today's society. We also give a projection of school grades, how they understand and memorize different subjects. So you can create an approach for yourself to their education that's not harmful for them and that's not invasive and it's the easiest for you. This tool gives you harmony in terms of communicating with your child, making them know that you understand and are open to their suggestions and their interests. Not only that, but it's going to give you an extra leap, which is their hobbies. Kids always want to do something that their parents are not always on the same page. But if you see that your particular child has a great potential in this activity, it's going to be easier for them to communicate it to you. And not only that, for you to make a decision. There are so many choices available to the typical UAE parent nowadays. This place was never the easiest to raise your family in because so many options are out there for you. How do you make those choices? How do you even start making choices? So many school options, so many activities options, extracurricular. So our goal and our aim with the working together is to give you that clarity, to let you make an informed decision about what your child is going to be doing. So this is basically what's in their mind transferred to you in a normal human language that everyone can understand. So this is giving you clarity, giving you an opportunity to have a basic understanding between you and your child. This is what we do, and this is what we're trying to showcase today. I am very excited to introduce you to one of our specialists. Her name is Tanya, and she is the one who's conducting the assessment. She's absolute a rock star at what she does, and with her psychology background, she is able not to only touch on the subject that are of most importance to the parents, but also present the information in a specific way that's targeted at the most important parts of our report for you and for your child specifically, because our report is very extensive. We can sit and talk about everything for hours, but she's going to be able to introduce you to the report in a very efficient way and touch on subjects like you can see on the screen right now: child self-esteem. We learned that this can be a huge issue for, nowadays, especially some behavioral issues, being too emotional, or the opposite of that, being too withdrawn. Um, Now that we're all schooling at home and bedroom is a classroom, there are some challenges linked to it. So many options out there. So she's going to be introducing you to how we can be helpful in resolving some of those issues that you might be facing nowadays.
As parents and educators, one of our primary goals is to be able to understand our children and meet their needs. A happy child is one who is able to feel appreciated and accepted for who they are. Unfortunately for us, with COVID-19 restricting our children's options for learning and leisure, this has become increasingly difficult. Also, with social media being one of our only possibilities for entertainment, communicating with our children has become an even bigger problem. While we are going through a global pandemic, our kids are going through a stress epidemic leading to behavioral issues. Through all of this, our children look to us for guidance and support. But how do we guide them if we ourselves are struggling to recognize what they are dealing with? Here is a list of common concerns that parents have about their kids. Kids with low self-esteem tend to be self-critical and hard on themselves. They lack self-confidence and feel like they aren't as good as the other kids and tend to doubt their abilities more often than not. As our kids grow and mature, their self-esteem changes too. It's vital that we nurture our kids in a way that promotes positive self-talk so that they grow up believing in themselves. This makes our job easier as educators and parents, as children who are confident find it easier to express their needs to others. A lot of children struggle with behavioral issues, but the good news is that parenting styles are rarely to be blamed for it. Kids with behavioral issues easily get annoyed and appear nervous, have anger outbursts and temper tantrums, struggle with handling frustration, and are argumentative, and often resort to physical aggression. If we fail to respond to their behavioral issues in time, our children may feel neglected and shut down emotionally. Recognizing signs of behavioral issues early on will help us in the long term. Our children will be able to learn new ways to manage their emotions, and we will be able to better address their needs. Emotional sensitivity varies from child to child. What makes our kids unique is how they respond to the world around them. Our parenting style needs to be altered according to our child's temperament to better suit their needs. Understanding your child's temperament can help you parent them in the most effective way possible. Our children can sometimes act overly emotional. This may be a sign that they are stressed and don't know how to regulate their emotions effectively. On the flip side, however, our children may appear withdrawn and shut off. This may be an indication that they are afraid that their needs won't be met, and instead of actively confronting those thoughts, they withdraw. Withdrawal may make us parents feel like our child is actively rejecting us, but in reality, it is a cry for help. There is a big difference between a healthy reaction to something distressing and having an overly emotional or an underwhelming response to something. Both are concerning because it means that we need to do a better job at encouraging our children to express themselves. We need to equip them with techniques to convey their thoughts and emotions effectively. While all of this may seem like a cause of concern, you do not need to worry because we are here to help you. Here at Verbatoria, we are able to conduct neuroassessments on your children to help you learn more about your child's emotionality and stress resistance. Our unique, patented technology is able to tell you about your child's mindfulness and risk behaviors, as well as their learning time to help them study better. Our technology is non-invasive and our assessments last about half an hour. At the end of the day, we are all just trying to relate to our children better. Even though it may seem intimidating, at least we're all in this together.
So, how does it work exactly? What we do is nothing new to science. The way we use the science is the new way. So, basically, we record the brain waves from your brain, from the frontal cortex, and we transfer it to our algorithm that compares the neural cognitive correlates to an existing one, and it gives us a response. The system processes it. There's no human interaction with it. So not me, not the participant, can influence the result of the assessment. Those brain waves go into the algorithm, and then they come out as a report, which is basically the translation of your brain waves into a normal human language that makes it comprehensive for parents and for kids to understand. Moving on. This system is based on more than 50,000 pieces of research, from which we comprise 2,000 crucial ones that are used as a basis for our science. From top universities, as I said, there's no innovation in terms of science as it existed before. There's some innovation in terms of technology because our device is very small. You don't need the whole room for EEG to make this possible. And then we combine it with the psychology of neuroscience as well, and we get this result. Our accuracy rate is 92% as of now, so you can be sure that you're getting the result that's specifically for your kid, for your child. There's no comparison, one child to another. It's all about your kid, how their brain works, and how you can understand it better. So moving on. We hold all the international certificates. It is patented. It is stored at the Library of Congress in the US. It also has all the safety certificates. As our device is absolutely non-harmful, it only receives the signal from the brain. It doesn't send anything back. So you can be sure that there's no risk whatsoever in doing this assessment. We already exist in more than 20 countries. Since 2014, we've expanded to a huge number of offices and partners. We've been at the point where we've tested more than 60,000 people. So with every person tested, our accuracy rate is growing. As of now, we're solid at 92%, and it's just getting better with every other assessment that's going on. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and we're gonna move on to the next part. Now, guys, I would like to cover a little bit the subject that's very near and dear to our heart, which is how this company came to exist. For the first couple of years, since 2014, Verbatoria was operating purely as a nonprofit, and the process of that was that this technology was created primarily to help families who have children who are on the spectrum. This tool helps those kids communicate things that they are not able to their parents, especially at a young age. So this company was just helping those families understand their children better, help with communication, help with achieving something when it's so not easy to achieve something in those situations sometimes. So we recognize that we are huge believers of being a very great, helpful tool for those families. We know that this issue is recognized in the UAE, and we love what the authorities and educators are doing in that regard. That's why we position ourselves as a helpful tool in that journey. We try to be as useful as we can be. That's why we are cooperating now with the institutions, with the places where they help those families, help those children to be heard, to be understood, and to excel. We know how amazing they are and how they operate. That's why it's our amazing opportunity, and we recognize it as a huge privilege to be a part of their journey. And now we're very excited to announce that in accordance to our partnership with the UAE Coast Fairs and amazing organizers of it, we decided to make a one-time limited offer for everyone who attended this fair. And we are giving out a 50% discount on your first assessment, which is unheard of, and also in recognition of Mother's Day that just passed. We would like to give this opportunity for everyone who came to see us, came to learn a little bit more about us and how we can work together to be helpful for every family in the UAE. So we're very excited to announce that if you call us, reach out to us and book an appointment by the end of March, you will have an opportunity to get this 50% discount on our assessment. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention, and it was a great pleasure to be here with you today.